Hello, friends. Now that the dust has settled on the issue as to whether doctors, hospitals, nursing homes, and healthcare providers are covered under the Consumer Protection Act 2019 or not, we should focus more on whether we are CPA 2019 ready. There are substantial changes under the new law, and remarkably, the pecuniary or financial limits of all the three tiers have been enhanced. District Commission can take up cases up to rupees 1 crore, State Commission between 1 crore to 10 crores, and the Honorable National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission can try cases beyond rupees 10 crores. Now, earlier, the jurisdiction was exercised on the basis of computations that were inclusive of the price of goods and services and the compensation claimed. Now, this integration of the price of goods and services and the joining factor, the compensation, has been removed, and the jurisdiction is vested in all the three tiers of the commissions on the basis of the actual price paid. So, in our context, it should mean the charges paid by the patient or his attendants or the beneficiaries, the billings received by the hospitals, that amount will finally determine where the complaint will lie. So it is only on the basis of, say, the invoice, the bill, the actual charges paid to a doctor, hospital, nursing home, clinical establishment, or otherwise healthcare providers, that the complaint will be entertained. This also means that in majority of the cases, our doctors, hospitals, nursing homes, clinical establishments will surely have a chance to defend the cases in the vicinity of their centers, subject to just exceptions, of course. It also means that physical availability of our medical experts will increase, personal involvement of our medical experts in the cases will increase, and most likely the follow-up with the counsels, the officers of the court, and personal appearances, if required, shall also be encouraged or increased, and more time would be devoted in presentations or discussions or making the documentary more case-centric. Because earlier, any complaint that not only required the liability to be fixed upon the amount paid by the patient party and the compensation claimed or the damages. Now, the entire aggregate of this amount could take the matter to the Honorable State Commission or the Honorable National Commission. State Commission was centered at the headquarters in the state, sometimes the capital city, and the National Commission has its benches in New Delhi, of course, with other circuit benches as well. So it sometimes meant personal difficulties or managing travels to the center or the state level. Now this will be removed. It also means that there has to be localization of the contesting teams. Most of my friends are covered under professional indemnity policies, and all the companies, whether the insurers or the risk management companies or other service providers who are 24 into 7 providing services to the clinical establishments and individual doctors, are within reach, and there is a good scope for communication. And I would also say it is an encouraging response, an opportunity for us to enhance our learning capacities, potentials, and excellence in contesting these cases. Uh, Something that should not be taken lightly, and a real serious effort is required, is on the process of mediation. There are several rules and regulations that were codified by the Parliament under the Consumer Protection Act 2019, and mediation rules is also separately provided. There is an exception for healthcare services under the mediation rules, and it states that these rules will not cover cases of medical negligence where the patient has either died or has suffered grievous injury. Now, it means that under the process of mediation, the statutory mediation provided under the Consumer Protection Act 2019 and the rules framed thereunder, the doctors, hospitals, nursing homes, clinical establishments, healthcare providers shall not be provided with an opportunity by the courts, by the commissions, for out-of-court settlement under the process of mediation, appearing before the mediators appointed by the courts. Now it sends a sense of alert, a sense of commitment, and a special care in those cases. We do respect not an alarm or panic at all, but special attention requires to be paid to those cases where the patients are treated for terminal illness or serious complicated chronic diseases, or where the risks are high, complications are high, and despite the information and informed consenting being done, now consent forms need not to be elaborate in terms of number of pages. Consent forms need to be elaborate in terms of exchange of information with regard to the disease process, the options available with the patient, the treatment of choice, several risks, in fact, all the risks subject to the discussion of the consultant surgeon or the healthcare provider, so as not to create a panic in the mind of the patient and say no to the treatment, whereas he may require it urgently for his well-being. And this sometimes surgery seems to be the only therapeutic treatment of choice. So the entire domain and regime of consenting, informed consent, high-risk consent, and all those consents has to be reconsidered in terms of this factor, that mediation will not be provided in case the ultimate outcome, unfortunately for everybody, is death or a grievous injury. I would say to my friends who are specializing in anesthesia should also pay more attention on this, and in conditions which are normally the alert codes are invoked, situations of breathlessness, situations of ARDS, then pneumothorax, hemothorax, and DIC, where a patient is requiring special and intensive care, and all our service providers are having sleepless nights without caring for their own self or their personal needs and requirements. They are integrated in an orchestrated attempt to save the life and well-being of the patients. And extra care is to be provided so as to avoid avoidable mishaps, the shortcomings, the human errors, and the provisions of life support systems. Everything should be in place. Now, to my mind, to err is human, and that does not mean that in cases, unfortunately, where the patient has not survived or suffered grievous injuries, those cases were all because of medical negligence, not at all. Just keeping in mind the new provisions, it should also be kept in mind that the court does not prohibit or prevent us from settling the matters out of court on personal level basis out of compassion or ex gratia and subject to the terms and conditions of the professional indemnity policies issued by the insurers or brought forward through the risk management companies. The only distinction would be that an out of court settlement would not be drawn under the auspices of the mediation rules, but it can always be culminated and crystallized and documented uh, through the process of uh, personal counseling, mediation, personal mediation of friends and well-wishers, and even the uh, parties to the dispute, the hospital management, the surgeons involved, the critical care people involved, and all those persons who are in communication with the patient or his attendants. So the lifeline to avoid such mishaps or misunderstandings can be generated at the stage when the patient has arrived to us as medical establishments, although there is a separate department for marketing and other things. And it is now a time that e-governance is taking over, and we have so many digital healthcare platforms and medical apps in place. Every time it is becoming dynamic and evolving situation. You hear about a thing, and the next day, an improvised version has come. So it is not difficult to reach out to the patients, to reach out to the attendants, and timely care is provided, and everything is shared. So when there is no communication gap, there is no misunderstanding, we can at a certain level and to some extent, I would not say a great extent, but at least to some extent, minimize the scope for litigation. So if there is no litigation and we have minimized the conflicts, the hostilities, the verbal exchanges, hot exchanges, or uh, say lack of discussions or false pride getting into the better of our normal dispositions. We are working under a lot of pressure. So there need not be always a PR department to minimize issues or prevent a radicalization of things. It is not necessary to always have that push. But what I mean to submit is the communication between the primary consultant and the treating team, the nursing team, and the administrative section who is looking after the documentation, the billing section, the account section, the pharmacy, the canteens, the uh, housekeeping staff, an element of courtesy should be available. And since we are giving services which are primarily and purely human, it should be reflected in our behavior, in our conduct. So these things have always been there, but now since the provisions of the law are ostensibly becoming more stringent, and we are going to have perhaps more regulatory measures in place in future as well. So my humble request to all my friends, colleagues, as well as the doctors, hospitals, establishments, and nursing homes to have an introspection and to have a review of the things that they are managing and to be more uh, document friendly and to be more technology friendly as well, because now we can store and uh, have operation on information through our mobile phones, systems, and other gadgets as well. So, wishing you all the best. Stay safe and stay CPA 2019 friendly. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.